Okay, we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the December 20th live stream, and this is our penultimate live stream of this year. So today we have five others with me on the panel. John, Neil, Aaron,
Howdy.
Steve-O, and Duke.
Oh.
Hey,
Howdy,
guys.
howdy.
Hello
And
there.
Guys.
What's going
And
on?
of course, we have
Craig,
Craig
what?
Kelly right from the
What?
beginning asking us about David Koresh's music.
What the?
I never got a chance to look at it, Craig. I'll be honest. I've been meaning to, but I got distracted by looking at the firearm laws and bullshit that was being spread, misinformation. No, but I still have got the link, and I will still have a look at it.
Excellent. All right. And we also have atheist GFY, Serge. It's too bad that I guess he doesn't have access to a desktop computer to join us. And it's too bad. Maybe at some point, Evie Mux will figure out how to get the mobile working.
Would be nice.
After all, it is like almost 2026, and I heard this mobile thing is going to take off.
It's
So-
the internet is a passing fad. Ignore it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what people say. Who knows how long this will last?
They'll go from internet to actual real-time artificial intelligence in the real world.
So, in Craig Kelly's bid to take over John's crown, why was there never a pregnant Barbie doll? Because Ken came in another box. So this one I haven't heard. Was 6 inches long and has 2 nuts at the end. And almond joy. Yeah.
It's even better if you know. It's a couple months ago about an issue on one of the sports shows here in America. Like reported by Joy was made a complaint about harassment. If you just put it like that. Men under.
Oof.
Yeah. So
and,
that kind of.
Oops. Oh, darn it.
Uh-oh.
This keeps on happening. Where I'm going to have to...
Why the hell does Google think you're not on the call?
Oh, it's because I'm the only one in it. That's why.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
that's
but
just...
oops.
Oh, no, I thought Neil wasn't on stage. There he is.
He
Hello.
is. Are you not paying attention?
Hello.
I thought he was on the piss.
He's what?
Oh, sorry.
I have been
I'm
looking at
up-
Blame Predict. But only looking today.
Yeah.
I'm having a dry day.
Oh.
I finally worked out all my medication, and only took me a month. And it's basically, I think about 90% of the medication makes me drowsy, and not to drink alcohol is the huge other warning that's all over the place.
Oh boy.
Now, that's the case with almost all medication, I think.
Yeah. I did have a fun, it was sort of fun. Little incident happened on, I think it was Wednesday. I went into my local tobacconist around here just to see if there was a huge crackdown on illegal tobacco. And they sort of hit every tobacconist between, say, Bundaberg and Brisbane, which is about a 5-hour drive, to give you an idea of the scope. And it turns out they were open. And as I went to go into the shop, I heard there were 3 guys in tracksuit pants and singlets, and the pants are falling down. One of the guys was arguing quite loudly at the young Indian lady behind the counter. No, we have no tobacco products here at all. We don't have any vapes because they're also illegal in Australia now. And he was getting really wild, and I just sort of came in through the door, stepped to one side, and said, "The lady has already told you she doesn't have what you're after. Fuck off." And he turned around, the guy who was closest to the counter turned around and said, "Oh, what are you going to do?" "Well, I'm going to call the cops." And I noticed that the lady behind the counter had her finger on speed dial on a phone, and she also had something in her right hand holding down behind the counter, sort of, with the elbow like that.
Yeah.
So I knew she had some sort of weapon there. And I said, "Oh, what are they going to do?" "Well, same thing I'm going to do if you don't leave now. I can drag you outside." And they puffed up a little bit, and then they all caved and walked out, and got talking to the lass. She was very thankful, and what she had behind the counter was homemade pepper spray.
Right, that's illegal, right?
That's
You said?
illegal, yeah.
Yeah.
It was in one of those pressurized little containers that can pump up and spray weeds shit around the garden, so it goes for quite a long distance. And she said, thank you so much." And then we got talking, and as a result, I got my name allegedly on a list of people they will call when they get supply in,
Oh, nice.
allegedly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
you don't know if that's a real list, but if there is, they will call you.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's that thing of, it's as I always say, the only reason there's so many arseholes in the world is because people let them get away with it. And yeah, it's, I don't know, especially because it was actually it was the day after Bondi shooting
Oh,
that I went in there.
Oh,
So there's been heaps of anti-immigrant
yeah.
crap going round. And
It's
but yeah, it was nice to be able to help someone.
No, that's great.
Yeah, mind you, I think I could have taken 2, but 3 is definitely too much for me nowadays. But
I could have taken like half, maybe 10th.
I mean, the guy in the middle, the guy closest to me was a young fella, maybe 14 if he was a day, so I discounted him. But the guy in the middle was standing with his legs spread, his arms sort of like, trying to do a gangster pose, but he's facing me front on with his legs spread. You fucking idiot.
He wanted to make a big target for you.
I mean, I'm carrying a pretty solid piece of wood.
Yeah.
So,
And then there's your walking stick.
yeah, that's true. But I wasn't getting the other one out. I button flies too hard to get. But he also turned his back on the lady behind the counter. So not only did she have pepper spray, she also had a nice wooden club there. Yeah, it's going to be a bit dodgy in Australia for a while till the anti-hate goes away
yeah.
and
I
politicized.
mean, is it really going to go away? Because it seems like it's sort of part of the whole, environment right now.
It will-
Not just in Australia, but everywhere.
It will settle down.
Sure.
It-
It normally does. There were reports that hundreds of pig heads had been thrown on Muslim
Oh, wow.
graves.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
That's gross.
That's completely bullshit.
That's gross.
Yeah, and it's also bullshit because pig heads are pretty hard to find.
Mm.
And second, it wouldn't have been the Jewish community because they're not going to touch pigs either.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just plain Aussie bogan wankers. You know, it's the same thing as graffiti and moss. A big lot of that happened. Yeah, I just find all that it's wrong.
Yeah.
I was hoping Machiavelli would be on because I wanted to ask him a couple of questions re firearms because I'm, my firearm knowledge is probably about 20 years out of date. But,
Yeah, unfortunately, he could not join Machiavelli. He actually said something came up and he won't be able to join.
There's
So,
always next week.
however, I don't know how many. I didn't really look to see how many votes I got on this. So maybe you guys can vote before they show up. Which of
I think-
these do you think will show up? Hyracun, Flowjob, Neppy, the Monkey Boy, or Gandalf, the Stat Illiterate? Or F. Or F. None of the above.
I'll go F this one.
I hold out hope that I hold out hope that that Neppy, one day Neppy will grace me with his presence.
So
think
you guys,
my-
Neo was able to join me on the impromptu live that I
Yes.
had.
Yeah, I saw
was
that.
super-
Yeah.
that was
Yeah,
very
that,
cool.
that was a fun one.
Yeah.
And that- Yeah, but he's still like going on and saying, "I will debate you now." I mean, it's like, but now it's like, when he says, "I'll debate you now," he's kind of trying to be clear that he means like in the comments. And the funny thing is, like, he said he's available to debate me, and he meant in the comments, but then he goes away for 5 hours
Yeah.
and not respond to anything. How is that a debate that's happening right here, right now? I mean,
Coward.
he's not even like trying to make sense anymore.
Well, first of all, it does presuppose that he was ever making any sense.
Oh yeah, that's true.
That's true.
So he's saying that me challenging him is just me being desperate for clicks. Even after we've annihilated all his quote unquote godless ideas. Yeah, go ahead.
Does he really? I mean, do these people really think that you're looking for? As wide.
So
I think they grossly overestimate the scale of the audience Q's looking for.
Yeah.
I think.
true. But also,
So I actually responded and said, you know what, if he show us, maybe it didn't show up. I've been having a lot of trouble just like getting my comments to show up. But I did say that if he does show up, I will give him 100% of the proceeds of this live stream.
That reminds me. I mean, I'm not sure if Robo onto YouTube is shadow banning me for some stuff, but the Q.
Well, have you
would you
guys-
mind checking like your help review folder? Because
Say
I
again?
wonder if. I wonder if there's auto moderation happening.
I know for a fact, because I did a lot of reporting last week, that a great deal of my posts were not showing up. And Blag and I worked this out before. I think if you do too many reports,
I don't do much reporting.
yeah.
But I think you're right, Luke, because I think a lot of reports does get you kind of shadow banned.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because the system might
Yeah.
think you're a
That
bot.
happens to me.
that's one
So
of
wait,
the
wait.
reasons. The
So wait,
other one,
if you try to
oh,
tell
sorry, John.
YouTube, if you try to tell YouTube that there's a problem with other commenters, and you do that too many times, YouTube will stop you from commenting.
Yeah, but there's also it's happening a lot on on other channels. It's not just the atheist channels. It's on a macrame channel I go to get ideas and whatnot. Um, Everyone on there was whinging about even putting the show newest and clicking things. That a lot of their comments were still not showing up. So it's a YouTube wide problem. Yeah, I don't know whether they.
It's like because you know bad things get more publicity,
Yeah.
and so they'll do the least amount of work possible to you know get people who break the rules from being taken off.
I mean, I think they do also limit the number of comments. So if you make too many comments in a relative short amount of time, if I feel like they start shadow banning
Oh,
you,
in a
and
day, yeah.
yeah, and the thing is, I don't know, right? So I'm like making posts, and then uh, all of a sudden the posts stop showing up, and then when I check, oh yeah, it's I'm shadow banned, and then I have to kind of shift to my other account, and then it works it works there. So I mean, it's just kind of, if it was more obvious where they say, well, you can't comment anymore or whatever, that it'd be better than you like making a bunch of comments and then finding out that none of them
Yeah,
showed up.
there's some kind of like Autobot, Autobot,
Yeah.
that just tells you in the comments that
Yeah.
you're temporarily,
Yeah.
Commenters
Man.
in disguise.
yes,
They used to have that. They used to have that facility. It would tell you that you couldn't post because you'd reached your limit,
Yeah, that's
or
good.
you were suspended or
Yeah.
suspected, whatever. And it used to tell you. Doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Hasn't
I
done
mean,
for
if you
quite a
could,
while.
if you could even see how many you've posted and how close you are to the limit,
Yeah.
The other thing we have to
it'd be
remember
great.
is every one of our posts is being reported by some godling.
of course.
Oh yeah.
So, tit for tat, fair
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah, fair game.
Yeah.
All is fair, love of war.
So the other, and part of it is like, when you kind of get into these little feuds with these guys. So like Gandalf, he obviously doesn't understand stats, but he just doesn't understand that he's wrong. So he thinks it's impressive how confidently I don't understand stats or logic. So what he claims he said, is that most atheists aren't scientists. And what he means by is that, quote unquote, only 1 to 4% of atheists are scientists, as if that means anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, and he doesn't understand my comment here when I say atheists index higher among scientists. And he thinks that answers a completely different question. A different
there is
information.
sometimes a curiosity that I have about how much of this is them just trolling for the sake of trolling, or just
No, I think he's actually that stupid as stupid. I don't think
yeah,
he
yeah.
understands.
That's where I was going with that. It's like
Yeah.
there does come a point where like, oh no, oh you don't understand words. Like
Yeah.
Neppy has done that a few times this week as well.
But for this, I mean, the idea is like, he's trying to say, when he says 1 to 4, only, quote unquote, only 1 to 4% of atheists are scientists. He's kind of like, and he said that, oh, that means like 96 to 99% of atheists are dumb. That's what he thinks it means. He doesn't realize that it means that they have other positions, other jobs in life. You don't get 51% of atheists becoming scientists, because there's no group where it would be that high. And what he doesn't, and he refuses to figure this out, is what you have to compare it, and this is where the indexing comes from. You have to compare it to the general population. The general population have a much lower percentage of a percentage that are scientists.
Yeah, another stat that Gandalf doesn't understand is the law of averages.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's that, but it's like you can't just throw out 4% and claim that that means something unless you are comparing it to something. So
True,
if he
true.
had compared it to Christians and show that actually 2 to 4% of Christians, and that would be a lot, 2 to 4% of Christians are scientists, then you could sort of make a statement saying that Christians are more science oriented. But if that was the case, you would see a high percentage of Christians in the sciences, and you don't.
That's true. That's true.
And also, what percentage of the population are Christians versus atheists? I mean, it just like doesn't understand any of these numbers. And I think AI told him something about the denominator thing, the base rate error or whatever, and he just like sticking to it without understanding what he's saying.
Yeah.
Small question for John: is philosophy? I mean, would philosopher be synonymous with philosophy poser?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
what I
that
thought.
tracks. That tracks.
Yep.
Phil
Yeah.
Bro, though. I
Now
think that's what.
I'll agree. Not agree, but I like to believe that he does read the philosophy. He just doesn't fucking understand it.
Which one, DK?
Yeah,
So here's the
legible.
thing: when he first started, he really didn't understand anything about philosophy based on his comments. But recently, the kind of stuff that he posts is actually somewhat, kind of, coherent. And I think it's because he's figured out how to use ChatGPT for it.
That's true. I shouldn't. I didn't think about that.
But
Yeah.
he still is wrong. I mean, that's the thing. Even with AI, if you are too stupid to understand what AI is telling you, it's not going to help you. You still have to have some base understanding in order to take advantage of AI, and he doesn't.
DK's philosophy understanding strikes me as being parallel. Does everybody here know who Alex Jones is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
Where Jones will read the headline of an article, or at least this was back when before his channel became almost exclusively responding to tweets and memes. But where he would just read the headline and maybe the first sentence or two, and then pretend to know all about the rest of the article. DK seems to have the same basic, barely surface level understanding of any of the philosophical concepts that he brings up.
Well, and he's just like stuck on this confirmation bias. So,
Yeah.
this whole thing with the Hume thing, the positives, and Hume being an empiricist. I mean, he got stuck. He just accidentally. I think he made just an error, and it's not a big deal. He called Hume a positivist when he meant empiricist, probably. But at the time, he didn't know the difference. So when I brought that up, he had to find ways to justify that he wasn't actually making a mistake. It's the same as that whole, DNA crystal thing. So he had to like come up with this like
And
mental
something K is the other one.
gymnastics. Yeah, to just say that, oh no, you can legitimately say Humean positivist because he's talking about Humean positive, epistemology or whatever, epistemology theory or whatever. There is no Humean positivist, at least not that I'm aware of. I may be wrong. So if anyone knows of this, and you're watching this video, please do put it in the comments. But there is a difference, like a fundamental difference between empiricists, which is Hume, and positivists. And sure, positivists came from kind of had their foundation from Hume's empiricism, but they're different things. And he refuses to admit that. And of course, I will keep saying Hume is not a positivist, like continuing to say DNA is not a crystal. And of course, he won't have that discussion. And the very easy, no, the fundamental difference is that from Hume's point of view, in his empiricism, knowledge is descriptive. So when you say, and I've had this Izot thing with DK, when you say that a triangle ought to have three sides, from Hume's point of view, that's a descriptive thing. There is no ought. There is no, it has to be that way. It is a description of the triangle. However, a positivist will say that it is normative, meaning that a triangle ought to have three sides. Now it's a little bit, it's not the same as odd as in kind of like a moral imperative, but it is still a normative thing where from a positivist point of view, that's what it should be, for it to be knowledge that a triangle is kind of, I guess, there is a necessity that for the knowledge of triangle, it needs to have three sides. So it's fundamentally different, and he just refuses to even respond to that question because he knows he's wrong. But anyway, that's my rant.
Yeah.
But he is on this
No,
thing about, he's
it's what he
continuing
does.
on with this shadow banning thing. Uh, he's just like still crying about being quote unquote shadow banned here, despite us telling him directly, no, you will be, your comments will be removed, and they won't show up until we, put you back on. And it's hardly a shadow ban. But but now he doesn't. When I said he's the I'm being shadow banned crying champ, he brings up Andrew Wilson deplatformed me, not understanding that that is me being ironic.
Yeah.
That Andrew Wilson was the one who said that I'm deplatforming him by suggesting that modern day debates should not have him on, and then he blocked me. In which case, he is deplatforming me. I mean, I myself wouldn't actually call it deplatforming, but from Andrew Wilson's idiotic view, he is deplatforming me after telling me that I was wrong for quote unquote deplatforming him.
Yeah,
But
you
he
just
doesn't understand the irony.
yeah, you just exposed. You just said your opinion. That's it.
Yeah, but when I
Wilson would
say
not.
deplatforming, he's deplatforming me. It's me being ironic, and
Oh, well,
apparently that
that
went
sense.
over
Yeah,
his head.
that sense. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, my point was, Wilson. You just explained your opinion to Wilson. He actually went and did it.
yeah,
Yeah. So that's the irony right there.
No, I think yeah, and I think DK kind of falls into that same category as Neppy, which is this might be the only meaningful human interaction that they have on any level,
That's true. That's true.
which if true is truly sad, but
also
because
ironic that
well,
they
yes,
don't show up.
right, yeah, and that's because again, they are smart enough to know that they don't stand a chance, that there's no way that they can defend their position. So they have to go through all of the rigmarole of like insisting that they are right, even when you point out to them that it's factually not only is there no evidence that they're right, but that there is actually evidence that they're wrong. But
Yeah,
their whole
yeah,
identity is wrapped up in I'm a big boy, I'm a big strong boy with a big strong brain.
yeah. And it's the same way with the main topic. So FYI, I didn't mention at the beginning, but the topic today is what is a woman, because of Pirate Coon, who, as we know, seems to love posting this question over and over,
Oh, look, a
and
wild
then
Gandalf appears.
oh, where's it?
Oh,
Oh my
Gandalf
God!
showed
Yay!
up.
What the hell? You
Yeah, that
answered a
that broke.
question no one asked with numbers that contradict you. Stats and logic both failed. You must have missed, you obviously missed the part where I lambasted you for being an idiot. Because you think that when you say 1 to 4% of atheists are scientists, that it actually means something. because you don't understand what percentage of the population are atheists, and you
Well,
think
how about
one
this,
to four.
Gandalf? Stop hiding in the shadows. Come on over to the stage and let's have a conversation. You're brave enough to come to the comments section and type this out. Say it with your chest, man. Let's go.
Okay, I'll give you the link. So Gandalf, if you do have the balls to show up, you do have to come on a regular desktop, not on your mobile. So you could use that as an excuse to not show up and say, "Oh, I'm on my mobile." So I'm giving you an out, without being completely seeming like a coward. Christians don't understand probability. It's unfair because we have Craig, who I think probably understands probability. Probably,
Well, odds are he does.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, but
yeah. Well, he won the bet. Just
Craig is a normal, sane human being. He's a humanist and a Christian.
Yeah.
And I
And to be
find,
fair, I think we kind of get a misimpression of Christians and religious people being just horrible
yeah.
because of what we see in the comments. Because those guys that are on I think are probably the exceptions.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is a bit of a not confirmation bias,
Selection bias.
selection bias. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
and
There's a bit of a selection. There is a selection bias there.
there
Uh,
is, up you go, John. Sorry, man.
no, no,
No, no, go
like
ahead. Go ahead, Luke.
my brother is an example of this, where he's a conservative Christian, and yes, I think he's the biggest jerk on the planet, but he's not. I'm just saying that because he's my brother.
Of course.
There's
What
a
were you gonna
there's
say,
a
Luke?
Yeah.
there's a huge difference in American Christianity and the rest of the world's Christianity. Um, it so, and I'm being a bit um, general here. Um, you can be a Christian and not a wanker in Europe and Commonwealth countries, whereas a requirement to be a Christian in the US appears to be you have to be a wanker to be a Christian. It's just strange how the hate and fear seems to prevail, penetrate everything that the American Christians um,
Well,
do.
it's the evangelicals, I think.
Yeah, yeah. It's not all Christians in the US do this, but it's the ones who yell the loudest,
Yeah.
which
Yeah,
is evangelical.
like some of my best
And
friends over the years have been Christian. Like dying to wool Christian, but they never tried to force it on me. They talk about me and I talk about them back, but they never tried to push me to go to their church or their believe in what they want. And they're some of my best friends. You know,
yeah, I mean, I've got mates who are bloody bishops, and I think one of them's been made a cardinal by now in the Catholics. But yeah, I've only ever in my entire life met one wanker Catholic. Um, all the other wankers have been living waters, the
Yeah.
evangelical wankers. I'm excluding Opus Dei in my categorization of Catholics because, I mean, if the whole sect has been excommunicated at least 4 times,
there's
I
a
don't
problem.
think I don't think they're a good representation of Catholicism, if you will.
Yeah.
And as we know, Craig is a stand-up guy. Um, there's no hatred in Craig, as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Um,
Although I think maybe Craig probably has some hatred for idiots like Gandalf,
He just
who.
said Ray Comfort is an asshole.
uh,
Yeah, he has hatred, all right, for somebody.
so Gandalf, this thing about non sequitur, he obviously doesn't understand what a non sequitur is. So a non sequitur fallacy is if your conclusion doesn't follow from your premises. And what he called a non sequitur is me just like bringing up some out of topic point that he doesn't understand stats or nor logic, but he thinks that's a non sequitur because he doesn't understand what a informal logical fallacy is. But this thing about the different denominator, he is so wrong. Oh look, we have Serge on. Hey Serge, can you hear us finally? Are you on a desktop? Or maybe you still can't. Oh,
Maybe he's
yeah,
trying to.
you're
that's
on
it.
mute if you're talking. Um, but yeah, Gandalf doesn't understand how the stat things work. So his point is that the vast majority of atheists, the overwhelming majority of atheists, are not scientists.
The
What's your
overwhelming
point?
majority of the
Yeah.
overwhelming majority of atheists aren't doctors. The overwhelming majority of what are your
Wait. So the overwhelming majority of atheists are not criminals, are not rapists, don't molest kids. They don't, express hatred against or want to take away or express hatred against idiots who troll on YouTube comments. So just saying that, it means nothing. You have to compare it to the general population. If you take the percentage of atheists who are scientists, how does that compare to the general population? What percentage of the general population are scientists? It is at a much lower rate than amongst with the atheists, and that's not uh, you know the whole denominator error, because what you think I said was that um, because you said that that the percentage of atheists who are scientists are low, that I'm flipping that around and saying that, and I brought up the percentage of scientists who are atheists. That's a resultant comparison where if you compare the rate of atheists who are uh, rate of scientists amongst atheists and comparing to the rate of scientists among general population, because you see a higher rate amongst atheists, you would assume that a higher percentage of scientists would be atheists. That's a conclusion that you draw. I'm not flipping the denominator. You just can't understand the second order statistic comparison. So thank you, Gandalf, for coming on the live at least. I mean, I'll have to say that's better than some of the other ones, right? Who won't even come on to the live chats.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's another
Well,
example of him not understanding stats. Whether atheists index it higher is irrelevant to whether most atheists are scientists. Yes, it is irrelevant when, but the point is that higher percentage of atheists are scientists compared to the general population. That's the point. You're still not getting it. Anyway, if he's not going to come on, I'm actually going to remove him, or not remove him,
Oh, yeah,
but
no,
ignore his comments.
yeah. He's clearly too big of a coward. I've been in the comment section telling, asking if he wants to come on, and he's running around still too
Yeah.
much.
Serge, can you hear us?
yes.
Okay,
Oh!
perfect.
Hmm.
How's it going?
I switched from Brave browser to Google browser. So apparently, Brave browser actually blocks a lot of your stuff. So I just switched browsers, and now it works.
All right, the audio quality still isn't very good, but we can at least hear you, and you can hear us, which is like a big thing. I
Oh, I'm
would
sorry.
say turn off echo cancellation if you are on like a headphone.
I am.
Otherwise, leave it on.
Gandalf thinks you conceded.
Oh my.
I do like how these guys, when they can't actually win an argument, will just say, "Oh, I won." Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Hey, Gandalf, anytime you're ready to come to the main stage, man, just step on up.
But
Oh,
Neo is asking
Gandalf.
the question. Go ahead. Go ahead, Serge.
I just said, oh, Gandalf is such a character.
Yes, he is.
So
Oh boy.
Neo asks a question, and this is what I'm asking, and maybe he'll understand it a little bit better because it's written. What proportion of scientists are atheists? Compare that to the total population who are atheists. Demonstrate which is bigger. It's kind of like saying, there's a very small percentage of atheists who are Olympic athletes who've won the gold medal. Therefore, what? what conclusion would you draw from that? At least by itself, it's nonsensical.
And also Gandalf, how many
It's
people?
standard comparative demographics.
I know that's what I mean.
You know,
This is like simple
It's like,
stat stuff.
Yeah.
what?
Uh, uh,
Like I said, Gandalf,
yep.
what was your point? Because it's coming off as malformed to me. I hear echo on Surge's end, I think.
Yeah, I think
I
his
apologize.
microphone isn't very good, but he had to drop off. But here's his. Oh, here's
I
his
will
another
mute
thing
my
about him.
microphone when I'm not using it.
Say again. Oh, Serge, you're still on.
I will mute my microphone when I'm not using it.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
Um,
Oh, we lost Sean, I guess.
he'll be back.
Yeah, this kind of complaining that he does, it completely says that he doesn't understand any of the stats that he's talking about. But like I said, I mean, he's too much of a coward to actually come on. And okay, this literally made me laugh.
Fly, you fool.
Fly, you
Fly.
fool! Oh my gosh, that cracks me up. All right,
Uh,
so before Gandalf showed up, what I was gonna do was introduce our main topic. We're like 40 minutes in, and we haven't even touched the main topic, which is Pirate-chan, and it's kind of, he actually should be Pirate Kun, because he's not a little girl, or maybe he is. I don't
No.
know. Um,
it,
Chan is a
yeah,
term of endearment.
yeah,
amongst like generally amongst girls or
it's
women.
Hmm.
complicated. It's
It,
complicated compared to
yeah,
English language.
it just means that it's a little more at an intimate level than Pirate
Yeah,
Kun.
yeah, yeah.
But for me, me referring to him as Pirate Kun is more relevant because he is, beneath me. So
Yeah, it's a definitely more formal.
yeah, I mean both are informal. It's just a level of
Yeah, that's what I meant.
intimacy.
It was
Is
more
yeah,
informal. Yeah.
yeah. But he keeps on posting what is a woman, and he's done it now, and then he would just delete it after he gets the engagement, and he'll
Yeah.
say that, oh, I didn't. The atheist couldn't respond to this question. First of all, what does this have to do with atheism? It doesn't. However, the end goal that he's trying to get at is to get into transphobia, but he doesn't want to do that. And this is kind of like those guys that bring up pronouns. When you bring up pronouns, we know what you're trying to get at. You are trying to get at, this whole, oh, you're doing this to, I guess, placate the the trans group. Apparently, being trying to help out a minimalized group is apparently wrong in at least in the U.S. And same way with the what is a woman thing. The whole, we're only a step away from him asking, talking about bearded men going into women's bathroom. But he keeps on bringing it up and then he deleting it. So I thought what we would do as a topic is to actually have a discussion, a serious discussion about what this means when we say what is a woman. And let me see if I can post or share this. Okay, here we go. Because I tried to answer in did this work? Oh, I lost my.
Ah,
I meant to. Okay, here we go. All right. Is this the right one? No, it's not the right one. It's this one. All right. So as I say here, he doesn't really want to have this discussion about what a woman means, what we mean, what people mean when we say a woman, because I've invited him here to come and have this discussion, but he would much rather have this discussion in the comments, just like Neppy, and just like with Flowjob and Gandalf, all these guys. They somehow think being in the comments is some kind of debate. It's not, especially when you make a comment and don't show up for 5 hours. It isn't. But his general question is disingenuous because he's assuming that there's some single essence that's defined by some behavior or roles when people say that it's a social construct. He's demanding that people tell him exactly what that social construct is.
I
And
just posted my standard reply to him.
is it up? Let me see. Oh,
The next one.
a woman, sorry.
Yeah.
Woman is a noun, a term used to describe someone who self-identify as a woman or feminine based on what is important to them as an individual, including gender roles, behavior, expression, identity, and or physiology. That's a really good way of
And
saying it.
that one comes from educational technology team at Sanford Medical.
And is that verbatim grammar, Ook?
Yes.
All right.
right.
Because we all know that definitions are grammar, right?
Oh,
It can't
yes.
be
Yeah.
it can't be it can't be semantics at all.
And Pirate told me that you could
It's a
not
definition I like
use,
to use as well. Look,
yeah,
I use
you
that
could
one as
not
well.
use woman in the definition of woman. He obviously doesn't understand how dictionaries work because it's quite simple. Woman, noun, dung.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. He's just got his undies in a knot and has decided to die on the hill of I hate trans people.
And the thing is he doesn't want to have this discussion. Right? He just like throw out objections and he doesn't want to get into a back and forth because he knows he's not going to be able to support his position. And also because he knows that inevitably inevitably to get him to a point where he's going to have to say why this is important for him. It's because of his anti-trans position. That's what he wants to get. That's where it will lead him to, but he doesn't want to get into it. But
Plus,
let
because he's a
me,
coward.
yeah, ultimately he is. Because I mean, at some level, he understands that it's bigotry, and so there's a shame. At least for now, he can't be too openly bigoted. So, not that no one is. There are certainly people who will be, but he doesn't want to get into that position. So he wants to pretend it's about definition of what a woman is. And Vertigo makes a really good point. Every definition is self-referential. It has to be. How do you describe something without describing it? Yeah, no, that's
Exactly.
a good point. Oh, he lost audio even after switching browsers. This really sucks. But Yeah. So, okay. So the silliness is that the roles and behaviors don't define the categories of a person. So, even if we gave a specific, quote unquote, what we consider to be a woman, what each individual considers a woman, it doesn't matter. That's not what defines it. It's just describing what each one of us might expect what we would consider to be a woman, but it doesn't mean that defines it, meaning that if someone is not doesn't fit into that definition, that doesn't make them not a woman, and it just means that our own description might be wrong. So let's just because I think one of the things that Pyrakun brings up is like he wants to know what our definitions are. So like for me, and actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to show Ook's definition. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Um, I think it's like passed too far. Oh, why did I miss it? Is it still there, Ook? Oh, okay, there it is. All right. A term used to describe someone who self-identifies as a woman or feminine. So one of the things that he asked me was this, like, oh, do you accept self-identification? So what he's trying to get at is someone who quote unquote self-identify, some bearded burly man self-identifying as a woman and going into a woman's bathroom, right? That's the specific outlying scenario that he wants to get into. So I would say, and this is where I would love to hear your input, is that let's say like some such a person just says I'm a woman and I go into the bathroom. We know that that person doesn't. I mean, I guess we can't say we know. That person most likely isn't actually identifying as a woman. Because a trans person a trans woman who's physically a male, when they self-identifies as a woman, they're not growing a beard. They're trying very hard to look feminine. They're trying very hard to fit into the social normative idea of what a woman is. So
And contr-
yeah, go ahead.
and contrary to popular belief, they are not just pretending.
Exactly.
Right? They're living their best selves. They're living
I
their
think it's
true
like,
selves.
it's from what I've heard. It's like, I think it's like neuro. I've heard neurochemical
Yeah.
bandied about.
Well, it's definitely not someone waking up one day and saying, "Oh, I feel like a woman."
Unless
That
you
that's
unless you
not
see
what it
Mark
is.
Twain.
Yeah, I that was coming up when I said
Sorry,
that.
sorry.
Oh, have we
but
lost
but
Q?
it definitely isn't. That's not what it is, right? Because like someone who's struggling with this all their life isn't just one day getting up and saying, "I'm a woman." 39C here in Sydney. Ook, is
Oh,
that true? Is this person actually from Sydney? I
I'm a
presume
couple
it
of
is.
thousand k's away from Sydney, but
Oh, okay.
sitting on my desk inside it's 30 and outside is about pushing the 40, 41 mark. So yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
well, given
fucking
how
hot.
far south compared to you, eh,
Yeah,
I
it's
could
a lot
say.
further south, but yeah, we are in for a record breaking summer in
Wow.
Australia. And that means cyclones and bushfires. So, yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Okay.
yeah, it's one of those things that just, yeah. Um, so,
QK sounds like someone who's never lifted a weight in his life. He can definitely tell, right?
Yeah,
I mean, come on. It's
considering he doesn't
like,
have this, he doesn't have the strength to come on the show. That's laughable.
Yeah,
What the fuck does lifting weights prove?
What?
not a
I
damn
so,
thing.
so that's the point,
Absolutely
right?
nothing.
Because he can't actually argue his point or get up the balls to come on, he thinks that's actually some kind of I don't know
He
relevant
thinks that's some
retort.
kind of flex. It's not.
Yeah, yeah. And if he was trying to make an
Yeah.
argument, that is exactly what a non sequitur is, by the way.
Yep,
So
exactly.
Yeah,
So
and Gandalf, as I said
Gandalf.
in chat,
Sorry, go ahead.
Gandalf, with that one, you've just conceded you have nothing left. Take the L and sawed off.
Look, man,
oh
Gandalf.
look,
Seriously.
he's still doing. Oh, I won.
What are you, some kind of fucking precept, mother?
Yeah,
Oh my
Gandalf.
gosh. Okay.
Gandalf. So just come on the show and actually, make your argument, make your case. If you're going to
Okay.
talk about how manly you are compared to everyone else, show us how manly you are. Step up.
So he's not going to get on, and I meant to ignore him, but I thought it was just so funny. But to just get back into the
Yeah.
discussion, it's just that, a trans person isn't just one day waking up and saying I feel like a woman. It's that person has gone through probably their entire life struggling with this and are trying to get treatment, gender affirming treatment, and part of that is making themselves look like a woman, trying to fit in that what our society would consider a woman to be. So if I say a woman is someone who wears a dress and there's a woman who's wearing pants, that doesn't mean that woman is not a woman because I have some preconceived view of what a woman should be. Or if that woman is working as opposed to being at home barefoot and pregnant, that doesn't mean that that person is not a woman. It means that my conception of what a woman is wrong. So that's where the social construct comes from. Our society in general has kind of a collective understanding of what a woman is, what their role is, and some of it is still grounded in sexist views, uh, because our society has that. So there are people who will not think someone is fully a woman if they can't bear a child, for example. But it would be wrong and hurtful to say that someone is not a woman because they don't have children or they can't bear a child.
And there's always going to be women that are going to be infertile, that can't bear
Yeah,
children. That's
yeah.
that's just nature there.
I mean, it really is a gradient, right? I mean, to kind of use sort of the crass term, there are women who look more butch, right?
Yeah,
That's what they'll say.
I met.
And yeah, go ahead.
I think we all met a few really butch-looking women in our lives. No offense to them, just saying,
Yeah, I mean, for their own purposes, they try to actually appear more masculine. And what happens is that there are these people who will just assume that they're trans, as opposed to them being like a biological female who wants to look more masculine. That still makes them a woman.
I once ran into at a sports bar a mate's new girlfriend, and as soon as she opened her mouth, it I was in shock because who's got a deep voice? Barry White,
oh yeah,
the singer.
oh
Her
yeah,
voice was probably a couple of levels lower than that.
deeper, even more low octave. Wow.
Yeah, and it's sort of holy hell. There's this really hot chick. Sorry, attractive woman um, who, yeah, it shocked me for a couple of minutes, and at no point did I think, oh, she might be trans. It was just, wow, that life must be a bit hard for a with a voice like that. Alternatively, I had a mate who affectionately became called Squeaky because he got measles and mumps at the same time, when he was late in his teens, and his voice turned into something like Mickey Mouse. And yeah, so obviously, being Aussie, we all had to call him Squeak. Um, so you can't tell by someone's voice.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've had times
So,
where I was embarrassed because I mistake somebody's voice and it was not quite what I thought.
so yeah, the problem that you're going to run into, and this is sort of an interesting aspect of set theory, where whenever you try to classify something or classify the attributes for X to fall into the set, if you make the definitions too broad, then you run into the problem where you'll have too many, you'll have extemporaneous examples, you'll have meaningless examples of the things that, by this broad definition, would therefore qualify. But if you also then make the definition too strict, you rule out what would be considered obvious examples. So, and that's what really kind of comes down to the conversation within the trans community and within the non-trans community about what is a woman, and that is that you have differing borders. And what a lot of people within the non-trans community will try and say is a part of the definition of a woman, it deals with a lot of these social norms that have been uh, subjectively held for the better part of 100, 200 years or more. And what the trans community is trying to say is, well, no, some of those definitions were never as objective as you wanted them to be. And because that's the case, and the subjective nature of a woman's role in society, that's part of why they're saying, no, we belong in this category too. And people like Gandalf and people like Pirate don't seem to understand that all definitions, all social constructs have always been in flux. And this is just the latest iteration of that flux.
So buzzing the bima, I'm not sure what that means, but we're just getting into the trans discussion. It isn't all trans. We did talk about how some people don't understand stats, and a few other things. And depending on time, we might get into other topics. You can let us know what you're interested in, and we'll see how much time we have and how long we discuss this. But by the way, just on the set theory, I found a really good video on YouTube about Russell's paradox
Yeah.
and the idea
That
of sets. I
Yeah, yeah,
really
yeah.
like this, so you should watch this.
Oh, yeah,
that
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
But
Yeah,
yeah, so I'm sorry, Neil.
I'll
Did you say
just
something?
agree with you. It's a good one. I've
Oh,
seen that one.
oh, you've seen it? Oh, cool. So the
Yeah,
other
Yeah,
my,
kind of idiotic argument that people make is this: "Oh, I feel like a Chinese person trapped in a white man's body." It's just the very kind of very similar dumb argument, like saying a man waking up one day and feeling that, or saying that, "Oh, I feel like a woman," kind of thing. So, no, you don't get someone, a Chinese person, all of a sudden waking up and saying that they think they are in a white man's body. Those are kind of different types of categories, and it's obviously a category error to do that. Um, it's kind of like saying, "Oh, I woke up one day and felt like a project manager." What does that even mean?
I woke up and felt like a billionaire. Does that make sense?
I want to be a millionaire so freaking bad.
Oh, we all do.
Yeah. I mean, so just because someone could have gender dysphoria, he thinks that it means that anyone can just, claim that they feel like something and take on that identity. Uh, the point is that the idea of gender, as well as even the idea of being Chinese or being white, can vary quite a bit, and there are a lot of different factors, and they're not the same type of factors. It's not just you just one day pretending, making a pretense, because that's not what's happening with gender. It's not someone making a pretense. That is the point, and you exactly did not get that point by bringing up that example, which I'm not surprised that he doesn't. So yes, not too into trans issue personally. Someone pointed there, talking about evolution. So we will definitely talk about evolution if there's time we can get to it. Um, Actually, let me just ask for the rest of the panel: is there anything else that you guys wanted to add, or do you think that we need to address, in terms of what Pirate Kun is thinking?
No, I mean, I think we can transition to another topic.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Actually, so buzzing the thema, I will send you the link if you want to join. The
I got
problem is, yeah, go ahead.
I've got a little, hang on, what is it? Less than 2 minute video that I think just shows how Australian the Bondi shooting was.
Okay.
I'll post the link because I still can't work out how to share things here. Copy. All right.
There's like a
I'll post it on
share, like
the
at
YouTube
the
link.
bottom, like next to like the mic and the camera and the settings. There's like
Yeah,
a share.
I can't work it out, unfortunately. I have to get
Okay.
Crystal to show me. There we are. There we are. The link's in YouTube. And it's about the hang on, about the 1 minute 30 where the guy wrestles one of the shotgun off the father, and
Yeah,
you'll
I've seen that.
see someone. The father looked like he was coming back, and then you'll see someone throwing what looks like a can of beer at the gunman, which I just think is
Yeah,
Hey,
that'd
are
be
they?
That's
Is it
Bikazi.
really?
That's awesome.
Wait, at what time mark is that at?
we're looking. Hang on, 1:20. Okay, start running it at 1:30 into the
1:30 is like
video there.
almost all the way in.
Yeah,
Il a récupéré l'arme du mec qui. Tu sais, il l'avait pris dans sa main là. Oui, oui, j'ai vu, j'ai vu. Ouais.
Les gars, je comprends pas ce qui se passe là.
Mec, c'est un attentat, frère. Eh, il y en a un, il est en dessous du bridge.
So afterwards,
That's-
he was
Ouais.
getting shot.
yeah, he was shot by the son on the bridge. You can see how close they were.
Yeah.
It was very scary. There was a person standing next to me that was actually injured a lot worse than me. And then I just
No, hang on,
That didn't have that, the beer throwing incident.
hang on.
Unless it's now 1:30.
Yeah. There we go.
So I remember this part where he raises his hand and
Mec, il est
puts
super
away the
courageux.
gun.
You'll see he starts it. This guy.
Oh,
Oh.
that. Oh, okay.
Oh, he just straight up just pelted him.
Wait, what was that? So he threw a beer at the son?
At the father.
At the
guy-
father, yeah, that was the father. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I just think that epitomises. And I also want to make clear that all these idiots who are saying, oh, it took 20 minutes for the cops, it's a 4-minute slow
Yeah,
walk
yeah, I
from
know.
Bondi Police Station.
Yeah.
It was over in under 10 minutes. 97 rounds were fired. Can you imagine the death toll if Australians had access to AR-15s?
Yep. Yep.
Oh man.
The changes in the gun laws, I honestly thought most of them were already implemented, but it turns out that the states were dragging their feet since 1996, since Port Arthur, and hadn't implemented a lot of them. And it's, yeah, ASIO, our intelligence service, really fucked up there because they investigated the son back in 2016 and didn't keep track of it. So, I mean, it's, yeah, gun control, it works because it took that pair 10 years to accumulate enough firearms and enough ammunition to go on their killing spree. And so, yeah, gun control does work. Arming civilians with the concealed carry permits is just, to me, fucking frightening. Um,
So
but yeah,
I've actually seen people posting saying that this means that gun control didn't work
yeah,
because apparently going 29 years as opposed to 30 years without a mass shooting is gun control not working.
yeah,
I mean, it's just ludicrous that anyone would even make that comment, but they do. They are literally making those comments.
yeah.
And
And
secondly, what
yeah,
happens in Australia is after something like this occurs, they don't go and say thoughts and prayers. They go and actually start looking at the legislation,
yeah,
actually doing something.
there
That does
will,
not happen here.
yeah, there will be some knee-jerk legislation done on gun control.
Of
It's
course.
just normal human nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the big thing that a lot of Australian politicians are not letting be swept under the rug is um, hate speech, inciting people to violence. The, um, the integration, there has to be better integration with immigrants that you bring in, so you don't end up with the little immigration ghettos, for want of a better word. You know how they all
Mm,
move into one suburb and all that.
Yeah.
yeah.
We got a couple of
So
those here in America.
there, some, I'd say probably three quarters of the Australian politicians are addressing the cause of the incident, not the fact that guns, but they're after the cause of the incident. What drove it, and what drove it was hate, and they're looking at changing the hate law, hate speech laws, and all that sort of thing. So I think we're on the right track. For once, Australian politicians are actually acting how they should when something like this comes up. And yeah, just for anyone who says, "Oh, Ahmad should have shot the father," his reasoning was, and he'd already been shot twice by then from the son. His reasoning was, "Who am I? Am not God. I cannot decide who lives and dies." And he put the rifle down and put his hands up so the cops wouldn't shoot him. And yeah, it was all over from way to go. 10 minutes, 97 shots shot. If you don't count the the two poor bastards who confronted them as they got out of their car at Bondi. There were an elderly 83-year-old man and a lady around the same age. When they both got out of their car, the 83-year-old bloke tackled the father again, and they both ended up losing their lives. So that was some 3 to 4 minutes before the actual shooting proper started. So yeah, gun control works, and there are some changes to the gun laws that I definitely think are needed. I didn't know in some states you get a shooter's license for life. I was gobsmacked when I found that out. Also, the federal firearm registry hadn't been updated in about 9 years. I thought yeah, it's things that should have happened after the Port Arthur massacre weren't enacted. The states dragged their feet. The federal government didn't kick them up the arse hard enough to enforce the legislation. And honestly, ASIO, the Australian Secret Service, really has a lot of blood on their hands over the handling of this one. And yeah, that's all. I just wanted to comment on that one.
Yeah, but they're actually trying to do something about it to
Yeah,
prevent this from happening again.
and it's not
Um,
just gun control. They're actually trying to the psychological reason why it happened. They're addressing that,
yeah,
and kudos for them.
yeah. But I don't know. Have they tried dots and prayers?
Uh, there's been a few big prayer meetings, and don't think it's probably comforted the people.
Or you can just like do what Gandalf is saying. Just take on a macho, just pretend you're all macho and you're all, big and strong, and I have big, strong guns. And that'll definitely stop all the shootings. I'm
Yeah,
sure of it.
but I mean, can you put what goes through my head is if there were concealed carry permits allowed in Australia. I mean, fuck, it takes over 2 years to get a pistol license in Australia. And that's just for a revolver. It takes longer, say, for a semi automatic, for a Glock or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, is
So
the idea
buzzing
of,
the theme, the deep,
The Bima.
deepma. I'm not sure what is
Buzzing the
that.
Bima.
Does that mean something?
I don't know. I honestly don't
But
know.
anyway, yeah, so he won't be able to join. Just look at your audio settings, but yeah, you can definitely come on. And I presume when you say you are a quote unquote skeptic, you mean that you're skeptical about evolution despite the overwhelming evidence that it actually occurs, evolution. So Craig, what we say in the U.S. is
yeah,
all hat and no cattle.
Yeah.
I guess Texans say that.
Oh yeah, that's definitely.
that that just reminds me of Team
Yes.
Fortress 2.
Oh, okay.
The
Oh,
engineer class, the engineer is from a town called Bee Cave, Texas.
I thought you were going to bring up Trump getting on it, having his cowboy hat. Have you seen that one?
wasn't the Epstein files meant to be out by now?
they released part of it.
Like 0.1% or something, or like a small fraction.
I have to
So
wonder how much of it was. How much of it is redacted to not include
I,
anybody, any current administration.
I mean,
I
I really
saw
don't understand why the libtards think that Trump looks like an idiot here. I mean, he looks so macho.
I think I caught a headline that said amongst the 40 odd pages that were released, 40 of them were black, like black construction paper.
Redacted.
They were just
Yeah,
completely
redacted. Yeah.
redacted. Yeah.
I so so there is someone who actually like created like an app that would let you kind of browse through actual the whole thing. Let me see if I can show this. Oh, by the way, in the okay. Let me see if I can show this. So in the files, there was like there happens to be a photo where Trump was in there, and it was just kind of like by an accident, I guess. It was like a picture of a photo drawer where you can see like some of the photos had Trump in it, and apparently it was like an oversight that it showed up. And guess what happened? Those photos got removed from the files. Like, it is
Photoshopping, good
so
friend.
obvious that they're trying not to show Trump, show any photos with Trump in it. And everything, almost everything, or a lot of what they released had Clinton almost for the most part. So it had all these pictures with Clinton on it. Oh, actually, there was someone who I absolutely did not believe is associated with Epstein, but the photos have come out. Winnie was at the Epstein Island apparently.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, I know.
Why?
I can't believe
It
it,
explains why
but
he just had a top on.
it's true. And also, his obsession with honey. I think there was something to that. So this was the, and I'll see if I can. I can't really see it, but this guy created an Epstein file viewer, and I will just put a link in it here. And what you can do is you can go here, and you can actually easily. Actually, let me do that. You can do a search, or you can do kind of a viewing of the files. So you can select the collections, and you can also select people. And there's like Epstein, Maxwell, Bill Clinton. However, you will not see Trump here. Apparently, Trump didn't know Epstein or something, and didn't know Ghislaine Maxwell, and there are no photos of of those them together. Walter Cronkite is there. By the way, the other thing with Bill Clinton is there is a photo where, and there's kind of a lot of photos that look bad. Depending on. So this photo here, this looks kind of bad, right? He's there with Michael Jackson and with Diana Ross, and there are several, like 3 kids, where their photos are redacted. Do you know about this? Do you know where this comes from?
Is that
It's
in a plane?
That looks like it to me.
maybe. I'm not sure if it's in a plane or somewhere, but the thing is, like, this is actually a public photo. So this isn't some hidden photo of, Epstein and or of Clinton and, Michael Jackson and all that. It's completely disingenuous. Let me see if I can find it. It's them just making it seem like this is some nefarious thing, but it isn't. Maybe I can't find it right away. So there is like a public photo of that where the kids' faces all show up. Those are like Michael Jackson's kid, I think, like Towel, and what was the other one? Prince. So it's like completely innocuous photo, but they included it in here with the faces redacted, despite it being public, to make it seem more nefarious than it is. So it's them just like playing politics. It's just kind of gross. But anyway, yeah, check out that link, and you can kind of go through all the different photos that are there. But yeah, there's like a large amount of it that's just redacted. So let's see what else. See. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, have fun with that. There's definitely, obviously, a lot more to come, or hopefully there's a lot more to come. By law, they were supposed to have released everything on Friday, but they didn't,
Yeah,
because
that
laws don't
Because
Not
matter.
much.
redaction even allowed by law.
Yeah, it's not. So, but apparently they don't care.
It's just a wait and see. Yeah,
they,
I
they
don't
got
think
they, they need more time to scrub everything.
Exactly. Yeah, and Prince Andrew is definitely there as well. Um, and
I mean,
my
if this is let
what?
through by this, I mean, if this is like let through by the Supreme Court, if challenged, I mean, let through by the Supreme Court when challenged,
Yeah.
that's
Prince Andrew. There's actually just only one photo with Prince Andrew. Uh,
Well, he's officially not a prince anymore.
Yep, that's
yeah,
true.
that's true.
He had all his
He's
royal
been
titles
stripped of the
stripped.
title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the only photo.
So he's
Um,
Andrew Mountbatten Windsor now.
yeah.
Yeah.
My
That's a
biggest
mouthful.
what was he stripped? What were his titles stripped for? I mean, I forget. I mean, I'm not sure.
for
He
being a child molester.
advocated,
Oh,
yeah, to
My
get
So
marriage.
there's officially the king removed his titles and his honours.
Yep.
yeah.
So
And
all his military ones that he got are gone.
my biggest
Anything
disappointment
involving
was
his
that William Butler Yeats was also implicated here, as well as Emily Dickinson. I cannot believe it.
what?
Alright.
what?
They're
Yeah.
obviously child molesters.
Wouldn't they have been? I think they're just those different people, or I mean,
No.
they're deceased poets.
Yeah.
What
So
I remember.
it's just there's a picture. There's a book. A picture
Oh.
of a book. A
Oh,
Yeats.
Oh,
okay.
That's
So
that.
search.
I mean, it's kind of. I don't know why they even have that. But yeah. So
Oh, yeah.
it is okay for you to still read Yeats. Uh, I guess they are just part of this one anthology, and uh, they like detected in this image Walt Whitman,
Yeah.
Emily Dickinson, and William Butler Yeats.
Yeah, all I picked up was a name.
I mean, just that's just like ridiculous. But all right, so
What have we
I
got?
think
127
yeah.
we've been going.
What was that? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think we can kind of end it here. I did have someone else in the comments, uh, in actually in that video I had with the funny the evolution strawman video.
Oh,
There was
yes. What was
someone.
his? Yeah.
Yeah, I did invite one of those guys, and they said, "Oh yeah, I will maybe I'll show up," but he doesn't seem to have shown up. Let me see which one it was.
I mean, I'll give
Um,
credit, small credit where it's due. You know, Christ, I've forgotten his name. Gandalf did
mhm.
show up, but
Yeah, kind of.
didn't appear to have the balls to come on, um, which is part of the course, unfortunately.
Yeah, and he still doesn't get the point. I mean, that's just like I'm not sure how else to explain.
I I'm not
I
sure he
think he
can.
gets the point. He just doesn't want to admit being wrong.
Yeah.
You think so? You think he actually gets the point?
No,
I think he's that dishonest that he'll just lie. He'll avoid it.
yeah,
It's either dishonesty or idiocy. It's one of those two.
Or a mix. It could be a both.
yeah, both.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like he doesn't understand basic stats.
It, I mean, I
The
don't get
fact
the
that
whole
he
point of his
completely
bullshit.
ignored my question
Mm-hmm.
and you're pointing at it and asking him, and he just wouldn't even touch it. So he knows the stats aren't in his favor.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So
he
that's
just
where the dishonesty is. He's ignoring it.
he's just a
What is
blowhard. That's all he is.
the forest? always uses the Project Steve, which is all the professors
Yeah, Project Steve. That's brilliant.
who are called
Every
Steve.
scientist named Steve.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not a scientist.
What's that
they're
prove?
signed, and they've got more people than they have creationists. So
Yeah.
Yeah. What
You
does
know,
it?
it's great.
It doesn't say anything. So
yeah.
him saying that majority of atheists are not scientists just is it doesn't have any informative value, but he doesn't get it.
I think you're. You're. If I. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't generally think. I don't know much myself, but I think. Wasn't your point that there were like there's a higher proportion of science, higher proportion of scientists among atheists than scientists among the general population? Well, the higher.
Yeah,
Do I
I mean
have it?
it goes both ways. I mean, ultimately it ended up in being both ways. So where, the rate of scientists amongst atheists is higher than the rate of scientists among the general population, and
And it,
even though the percentage of atheists is smaller, because that rate difference is so huge, we have, if you look at the percentage of atheists among scientists, it's very very high compared to the population. So in the if the percentage of atheists amongst the population is, let's say, 10%, if they are at the same rate within amongst the scientists, we should expect 10% of the scientists to be atheists. That's not what we see. We
yeah,
see like almost 50%, not quite 50%, but it's pretty high. And that's where he says, "Oh, I'm lumping in agnostics along with
agnostics.
atheists." I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if you just like took, because if you talk about just like atheists, people who profess to be atheists, the percentage in the general population is way smaller than 10%. So you're still going to get an overrepresentation of atheists among scientists. I
And it
mean,
also depends on what discipline they're studying.
yeah,
Um,
Yeah.
because that number, the scientists, isn't really scientists, it's the percentage of postgrads. So if you're a postgrad in like a PhD in theology or equivalent, of course, higher percentage of them are going to be theists, and lower percentage of are going to be atheists. But if
I
you
guess my
but if
yeah.
you look at STEM,
I guess my question to Gandalf is, so what?
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your point, dude?
His first the point that he had started off was that only 1 to 4% are of atheists or scientists, and he made it seem like that means like 99 to 96 to 99% of atheists are dumb, right? They're not scientists. That's the conclusion that he drove because he doesn't understand statistics.
And also, are you saying that only scientists are allowed to be smart?
That's the
Exactly.
thing.
Again, it's like even if you're right, you're wrong because you're not making the point you think you are.
Yeah.
So that's why I kept on saying, like, come on to the show, man. Tell us what you really are talking about.
But the thing
It's
is, like, if he got on the show, he would have had to answer those questions, and he wouldn't have been able to.
Oh no, of
I'm
course not.
sorry. Were you saying something, Aaron?
it sounds like Gandalf was trying to go. It's like, but what are your credentials? What are your basically trying? It's like, what are your credentials? What's your authority? What's your status? Yeah.
I'm very sure that
That
Gandalf hasn't majored in any of the sciences. I would be surprised if he actually has a bachelor's degree, or even if he graduated from high school.
No, again, it's this. They want to try and have it both ways. When you're not a scientist, then
Hmm.
they argue, well, you don't
it's
have the
like
qualifications to talk about this. But when you point to people that are scientists, then there's this cabal of atheist scientists that are suppressing the knowledge.
Right,
So
right.
it's
it's
Exactly.
basically like where is your? It's like, they're basically trying to say it's like you have no authority, and that you are borrowing authority by basically by deferring to actual authorities on science. That it's like borrowing it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the problem with that position is what you easily say back to them is, what then is your credentials for saying I don't know what I'm talking about?
Hmm.
So in other words, if they hold that standard, they have to remove themselves from consideration on the
Yes,
topic by the very standard that they're trying to espouse. So it's a self defeating position.
it is. You're right.
And of course, they, you
Craig
know,
with
and of
another
course,
zinger here. Gandalf only majors in PS.
Yeah.
I mean, and of course, they, you know, and of course, they are doctrinally
Brilliant.
obligated not to do so. They have to put on the god means like they have to put on the god mask
Right.
and claim to be or have the ultimate authority.
So
Yeah.
like this is
That's
where,
what
you know,
it's,
this what I'm showing here, it just kind of is emblematic of him just kind of trying to take both sides. So he's like saying only 40% of scientists in elite university are atheists. So even in your own data set, atheists are not a majority, which is kind of stupid. It's like 40% is a huge amount. It doesn't
Yeah.
have to be a
Yeah.
majority.
And
But
here's the
also,
thing.
So,
he's
well,
like going,
first of all, citation needed. That's
well, that one I actually provided. There's a
okay.
study. This is about amongst elite universities. It's 40%.
Okay,
But
great.
he also says, well, atheists they believe in science. So is science good or bad?
Yeah, yeah,
Which is it?
if
Yeah.
yeah, Gandalf, if you were to find out that all of the scientists that are not atheists were Muslim, what does that tell you? If you were to find out that all of the other scientists that aren't atheists believe in Odin, like we're so what? What is your point?
I, is he trying to run some sort of argument from authority
That's what it
or
sounds like to me.
No, it's just him trying to cope with me telling him that he didn't understand stat because the first thing he did was like one of the stats that he had where he completely misunderstood. Maybe it was the percentage. Oh, the percent of atheists among scientists. He had brought that up, and I think he was saying that it was less than 50% or something like that, or because he didn't understand he couldn't compare it to the percentage of atheists in the population, which is what the relevant comparison would have been, but he couldn't figure that out. So when I started like telling him he didn't understand stat, he was like trying so hard to pretend that he actually did, and he kind of kept on digging a hole more and more where he continually demonstrating that he doesn't understand stats.
Gandalf says, "Cope harder." Like you're back on this.
Oh my god.
Man, the projection is wrong with that one.
and it's also pointless because the Australian census for the first time ever put a box on there, not religious,
Yeah.
and it was 39% of the population ticked that box. So it varies from country to country. It's a little bit ambiguous, the word not religious, but at least the next one, the next census will have atheist on there. And it'll be very interesting to see how many people tick that one. But yeah, it all depends on what country you're in. And if you only think that the USA is the only country, which a lot of the godly trolls believe, of course, your stats are going to be skewed.
I also want to bring up a point.
Yep.
Yeah.
If it doesn't matter what the scientist believes in. If a scientist has any dignity in what they're doing, they're going to ignore their beliefs and actually follow the science. So it doesn't matter if they're atheists,
Yeah.
scientists, whatever.
Yeah. It's like when those guys say, "Well, science is based on Christianity because we have all these Christian scientists." I mean, it's
Who's
like
the head of the human genome?
Collins, yeah,
Yeah,
Francis Collins, yeah.
and
He believes in evolution.
but he's also stated that if he's not going to change his mind. But the Bible is the Word of God and true.
Yeah.
He's not a complete literalist, but yeah, even if all of science says the Bible is wrong, he would still be a Christian.
Sure.
Which, okay, that's fantastic. As far as I'm concerned, it shows that he can departmentalize
Yep.
what science he is doing and put his religious beliefs completely aside. And that's the way to do it. You can't let
Exactly.
your personal beliefs interfere with, I hate to use the word facts, but evidence, if you will.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
better.
The data, right? What the
Yeah.
data shows. Yeah. Where
Yeah.
it leads you. And that's perfectly correct to compartmentalize. You could have this, I guess, spiritual life or your religious portion of your life, but when you get into the lab, you look at the results, the experimental results, and you come to the conclusion that the data takes you. That is science, and you don't. And whether you are a Christian or Muslim or atheist, it doesn't matter, and it shouldn't matter if you're doing good science.
Exactly.
What is he going on about now?
He's
So
trying to change the
yes,
subject.
He's
yeah. I
doing
mean,
on
the thing is, like, if he wants a quote unquote single rational reason, he could come and ask us and talk to us, but we know he won't. So as Neil says, wah wah wah. Anyway,
I think that's more pronounced. Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. Yeah, you think you're so Gandalf? You think you're
I
so
you know
important?
I well, to kind of get back to what Ook was saying, that Gandalf should get some credit for at least showing up
Yeah.
here, despite us kind of making fun of how dumb he is. But if we go on too long, then the other cowardly deist Christians are going to have a justification to not even come on the live
Yeah.
chats. And so let's just stop it there.
Yeah.
And hopefully that other guy is going to show up next week. But the person that I was talking about was this guy. Whoops. Oh, no, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry.
It's all right.
Is this, was it this? Oh, yeah, this Feng Fan. When I said that he could come on, here, okay. My live is 8 p.m. I'll give the links. And he actually responded on, it's not showing up here. He did say that if he's able, he will come on. So, or maybe it wasn't this person, but someone responded and said they would come on. So maybe we'll see someone actually, get the balls to come on.
I mean, yeah, just come on and chat about anything. We've done what, death penalty,
Death penalty, abortion. We've also done gun rights.
yeah,
Yeah.
And a whole bunch of
The nature of crime and punishment, specifically in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a number of different conversations.
how to build a sex dungeon.
I didn't go there, but
Yeah, but we didn't have a guest for that one.
Yeah.
We had our resident
Lord.
expert.
Who's that?
Apparently, it's not too late to whip it.
Whip it good.
As long as you don't lick it.
Good.
Yeah, got to try not to lick it. That's what it really hurts. But no, hopefully
Good grief.
the two that turned up today will join us again next week.
Yeah. We're up in A, buddy.
Yeah. Gandalf, you're a pathetic, lying, little hypocritical coward. You have absolutely no position. You know you have no position. And that's why you're too scared to come and actually debate us live one-on-one.
And as I said,
Continue to hide behind your keyboard, you coward.
if you had any self-awareness, Gandalf, you'd have shaken the dust from your sandals long ago and repented
right.
of casting fake poisonous pearls before those your god would command to call swine.
Okay.
Did
So
anyone catch the guy who was posting Jesus loves you all the time?
Oh, Sherman, or was it? Is that the one?
No.
No.
I reminded him of
No.
what was it, Matthew 10 or something,
Okay, somebody else then.
and he actually, I said, "Why are you here? Everyone has told you to bugger off, sod off, not interested, go away.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Yeah, why don't you follow the words in your own book?" And yeah, that verse, shake the dustbin thing. And he actually has. He said, Ook reminded me of this, and I'll just leave you with, I'll pray for you all. And for 4 days, he hasn't said anything. So, yeah, who knew that'd work?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can
and
get through them every once in a while.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'll say, Craig, it's been actually a blast having you on the live chats as well, and it's just keeping us from becoming too toxic about Christians, because I think it is unfair, I think, to paint all Christians in a negative light, because it isn't the case that all Christians are that way. It's just that they're overrepresented, and you would know what this means if you understand stats.
Yeah.
Overrepresented within the comment section. So it's great having you here.
Craig
Okay.
really does, and Neil really does help us keep
Yeah.
grounded and
Yep.
remind everyone that, not all theists are wankers.
All right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, not all theists are wankers, and we will end that there.
Not all wankers are theists.
So thank you everyone in the panel, and definitely thanks for everyone in the live chats. Even Gandalf, as we keep on saying, he gets some credit for showing up here. So with that, we will see you next week for the year's end. If you guys have any suggestions on the topic, please do let me know, and we'll try to end with a bang.
All right, everybody.
One
All right, see you
All right,
guys.
but before
one
you go,
last word to Gandalf.
oh, go ahead.
Teach laughs at your madness. Please expect his gifts to be at your door in exactly 9 days.
All right, bye
All right,
everyone.
guys. Hey, but before we go,
No, you can still talk.
Challenge your beliefs, let the silence break the silence, shake the faith. Truth survives the hardest quake. Hold to truth, no more opaque. Reason's voice, it sings so clear through fear we hear. Cut through the noise, dissolve the fear. Rise above what you revere. No more shadows dressed as truth. Light reveals what lies uncouth. No more chains disguised as proof. Reason frees the mind uncouth. Let the evidence ascend. This is fallacy's end. Scriptures written in disguise, veiling men in holy lies. Faith without a place to land. Truth that crumbles when it's scanned. Show me logic carved in flame, not a God who hides in shame. Test the world and break the spell. Truth survives where falsehoods fail. Hold your beliefs, let the silence break the silence, shake the faith. Truth survives the hardest quake. is a sin. This is fallacy season.